Hi everyone, and welcome to the Fall 2025 Move-In Day Volunteer Training. I'm so excited that you've signed up to help with one of the biggest days of the year here at NKU. This training will walk you through everything you need to know about your role, the schedule, where to go, and how we'll work together to welcome back students to campus. First, we will go over some information and logistics, your shift times, the check-in and out procedure, the schedule overview, the early move-in process, and just a move-in day overview with the date, time, schedule, anticipated weather, and what to wear. So you will be scheduled to shift either in the morning, midday, or afternoon. When you arrive for a shift, the first thing you'll do is check in at your assigned location. We'll make sure you get your volunteer t-shirt and instructions for the day. Once your shift is done, make sure to check out too so we know who has completed their shift and who is still on site. For Booth Village, volunteers will check in at the Baptist Student Center, also known as the NKU Student Baptist Ministry. East Village volunteers will check in and out at a tent that will be set up between Callahan and Northern Terrace. It'll be right by the Callahan Loop and should be pretty easy to identify. So for a basic overview of what your shift will look like, as I said, first you'll check in at your volunteer check-in station, head to your assigned residence hall, and you'll begin with move-in tasks and helping students move their items. Depending on your shift time, you're invited to have a free lunch at Norse Commons between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. I think with all the shifts, you should be able to go before or after your assigned shift, so you're able to get a free lunch. Once your shift ends, you go back to the same location that you checked in order to check out. You keep the free t-shirt, and it's a full day, but your help makes all the difference. If you're living on campus and volunteering for move-in day, you are eligible to move in early. Early move-in starts Monday, August 11th, and between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. you can pick up your keys at Norse Commons in the housing office. So move-in day is Thursday, August 14th. You'll see students arriving throughout the day with families, and it's our job to keep the flow moving, give warm welcomes, and support a smooth experience for everyone involved. This is the general outline for the day. If you are working the first shift, your arrival time is 6:45 for check-in so that you can be at your building by the time the 7 a.m. shift starts. The same 15-minute arrival time is for all shifts so that you can make sure that when your shift starts, you're at the building. At 11 to 2, there's the free lunch. 4:15 is the last time that residents can sign up for a check-in appointment. So the last residents should be arriving at the building around 4:30. And at 5 o'clock, the volunteer assisted move-in ends. So please carry up to the room anything you're holding, and then you are able to be finished. Don't feel like you have to stay after 5 o'clock. And just a note, move-in day is not just for first-year students, but returning residents as well. The average temperature in mid-August is in the low to mid-80s. It can be humid, so it might feel a little hotter. Please dress comfortably, closed-toed shoes, shorts, and your move-in t-shirt. Please be sure to avoid flip-flops, sandals for safety reasons. Bring sunscreen, a refillable water bottle. We want you to stay safe and hydrated. This next section will go over resident move-in flow, and we'll go over some of the information shared with residents, housing eligibility holds, check-in times, color codes for buildings, traffic flow, where volunteers check in. There's a map or a visual for you, and the traffic flow for East Village and where should you park on that day. So before move-in day, residents receive information about their check-in time, parking, and unloading procedures. It's helpful if you're familiar with what they've been told so you can help reinforce directions and expectations if needed. So residents know they're supposed to sign up for a checkout time before August 8th. If they are not eligible for housing, they will be sent to Norse Commons. We'll go over more of that later. They'll be provided with parking directional information, general instructions, and what the check-in experience will look like. But if there's ever a time during the day you're getting questions you're unsure of, the resident assistant staff will be around, the RAs. They will have the black housing polos on, so you can always redirect students and say, you know, I'm not really sure, but this person here would probably have a better answer for you. As I mentioned, housing eligibility holds as needed. So some students may not be eligible to check in right away due to a housing hold. This is often related to incomplete steps in their application or a balance that hasn't been paid. Please direct these students to Norse Commons 140 And the housing office will be set up there with our financial and billing coordinator, and she will be able to help resolve those issues. If anyone shows up to the building without their keys, redirect them to the check-in parking lot. In order to help with traffic flow, we have different move-in times for each building. We offer students check-in times in 15-minute increments, and only so many people can sign up for each one to help kind of reduce any traffic jams or anything like that. So these are the times for each building. And then on the day of move-in, there will be balloon towers that will be color coordinated to help assist people to get to the right buildings as well. The names of each building are the colors that I anticipate for the balloons if everything goes as planned. That should be there on move-in day as well. Congratulations, this slide marks the halfway point. Thank you for sticking with me. I know it's a little dry, but it's really helpful to kind of see some of these visuals before so you feel more confident day of. For the diagrams I'm about to show, it'll either be for Booth Village or East Village. Booth Village refers to the resident halls around Norse Commons that are on campus: New Hall, University Suites, Norse Hall, and Kentucky Hall. East Village refers to the buildings across from Kroger. That is Callahan Hall and Northern Terrace. So for traffic flow this year, we won't be using Lot E because of the construction for the Science Center. We will be using Lot L. We will direct families to drive kind of around NKU, and Kenton Drive will be blocked off, and they will enter from Norse Boulevard. We'll direct cars through a specific path to reduce congestion in the parking lot, and then they will go to a certain tent that will match their color building, get their keys, check in, and then head to the residence halls. If you are volunteering in Booth Village, the NKU Baptist Student Ministry is where you will check in. It's right near New Hall and Norse Commons, and it is right in Lot E. So you can pull into Lot E, park, and then come and check in and get your t-shirt if you are assigned to work at University Suites, New Hall, Norse Hall, or Kentucky Hall. The traffic flow for residents checking into Callahan and Northern Terrace they will enter at the traffic light off of Martha Lane Collins Boulevard. They will go to the check-in tent to get their key. They'll loop around and come to the Callahan Loop. Traffic will be reversed so that cars don't cross paths. And then they will be instructed to return to the main road and go and park in the lower lot Z, which is right by the Skyline Chili. This is also where volunteers for East Village will park that day. For parking for East Village, that's not pictured here, but volunteers can park near Callahan Lot or in any of the parking Z spaces. For Booth Village, there's a number of places across campus. We want to reserve residential parking for students. It'll fill up quickly. And if it is full, these are some other parking lots that you can steer them towards. For volunteer parking, please park in Lot M. It's the closest one to Norse Commons. Next, we'll go through the step-by-step process for move-in, so what the resident will be experiencing. First, they arrive, check in at the designated parking lot station, and they will get their keys and sign any paperwork they need to. Next, residents drive to their assigned building to unload. That's where most volunteers will be stationed, helping move items from the car to the building. They will follow the color balloons for their building, and families will be given about 15 minutes to unload their car, and then they are required to move their car so that we can keep the flow of traffic moving. If anyone asks about dining plans, they will activate on that day at dinner. Once the car is unloaded, we direct families to move their vehicle. The goal is to clear the unloading zones quickly to make space for the next car. So we tell people to leave their car running. We always make sure that no car is left unattended. If there are multiple people, then some of the people can start carrying up items while the other person moves the car. If someone is by themselves, then we can have all the volunteers in that group start carrying their things up and have one volunteer stay with their items on the sidewalk while that person goes and parks their car. And then once they get back, everybody can help kind of move those things up. The final section will be volunteer roles and expectations, just going a little bit deeper into what you'll be doing on the day. So we recommend volunteers work in teams of 3 with one moving cart to that team. Carry as many items as possible up the stairs. The elevators kind of slow things down a lot. We like to use them for the moving bins and heavier items. The moving carts, like you see pictured here, the blue cart, should always stay with a volunteer or a housing professional. Not the residents, because these are our gold on move-in day. They help things move so quickly. And once you take it to the room, you want to unload it, bring it right back down. Students will typically leave it in the room, and then it slows the process a bit. Also, when you're done with your shift, be sure to hand off the moving bin to other volunteers. And also feel free to use the elevator for any really large or heavy items. Another helpful thing that you can do as a volunteer is, as space becomes available, like you'll see New Hall in the bottom picture there, there's a bit of a space between the cars at the front. We like to encourage people to move up so there's more room for other cars behind them. We've also done our best to match people with roles they're comfortable in, but please on the day be flexible and willing to jump in where needed. We also want to note that if there's anything you're not comfortable carrying, like someone's computer or a TV or anything of significant value, that is completely okay. Just let the resident know, like, hey, I wouldn't want to drop that. Is there something else I can carry? That's always okay to do. So anyone who has volunteered in the past, moving is exhausting, so it is so helpful to have all these hands on deck. When I moved in, I did not go to NKU and there was no assisted move-in, and it was exhausting. To have people there that first day, I think it really sets such a positive tone that we really are here for you, and we're a community that is going to support each other. So thank you so much for your time and for creating that first impression of what we really try to emphasize here at NKU. Also, August is hot, so stay hydrated, take breaks if you need to, and remember that the students have been driving, they've been packing, they're maybe stressed to start classes, so have empathy, be joyful, and give grace to students and their families. Use your best judgment, like I said, with carrying certain items, or if anything else, like a parent is in a room or a resident and they have some sort of issue with the room, you can redirect them to the housing staff. They are trained to help assist in those situations. And anything that you need while outside, the volunteer leads will be outside. There'll be one per shift at each building, and they will be the volunteers with the walkie-talkies. We will also provide tape and Sharpies. These are to write the room number on the to label boxes and moving bins. You always think you're going to remember it, but then you're hearing numbers all day long, you're getting tired. So it's really beneficial to just kind of write it down, stick it on the box, and then you don't forget where you're going. Some of the different roles you will see are team leads. There will be a lead at every building for every shift. They will be the one with the walkie-talkies. If you have any questions, please go to them. And they will mostly be directing traffic, making sure cars are where they need to be, and making sure everything is flowing smoothly. Movers, this is our most needed role and rather self-explanatory. Welcomers and traffic directors may also be needed, and check-in and check-out help. And as we get requests, we try to accommodate as many as possible, but we do prioritize those with medical issues. So please do not request indoor or sitting shifts unless you absolutely need them, so that we can reserve those for those who do. Some people to be familiar with. I'm Claudia Jouffre. I will be the volunteer facilitator at Booth Village. I will be in the Student Baptist Center, the area where Booth Village volunteers will check in, Caitlin will be the East Village volunteer facilitator. She'll be at the tent over there. Ray Horton is our interim director of housing. You may see him walking around at certain points of the day. And Dr. Katie Short Thompson is our president. If you see her, give her a wave and say hi. She usually comes around New Hall. Thank you again for being here. If you have any questions before move-in day, feel free to contact the housing office. You can email me. We'll also be emailing final instructions the week of move-in. Your energy, patience, and positivity help make NKU such a welcoming home for students, and we couldn't appreciate you more.